What is going on, people, and welcome back to the channel. The regular followers of the channel will know that I recently bought a car from Copart, specifically an Aston Martin Vantage, and I've rebuilt it, meaning I've got a car at a fraction of the cost, and it's together, it's a wonderful car. Now, one of my subscribers also saw this and thought it'd be a really good idea, and that is one of the reasons why I made that video in the first place, so people can understand that, if they don't have enough money for the car that they want, there's a chance that if they're handy with tools, there's a chance that they could buy one and get the car of their dreams for a fraction of the cost, which is exactly what I did. Now, my subscriber didn't have as much luck as me, and there's a story around this, and I thought it's important to tell you all that, Copart is not all sunshines and rainbows. Now, the subscriber in question actually had a bit of an upper hand to me because his vehicle featured on one of Bamford Rose's videos. For those of you that aren't Aston Martin followers, Bamford Rose is a very big name within the Aston Martin community, particularly in the UK. Red pants, not stepping on your toes, you're a big boy too. And basically, the video what Mike from Bamford Rose did was explaining that this car, although on the face of things, didn't look too badly damaged, under the surface there was a lot of damage in there, and he was kind enough to do a video on this and release a parts list and basically show potential new owners, or just show the community that it's not all as it seems sometimes with Copart, which I feel was a very valid video. But that did give the new owner kind of a safety umbrella. It had this appraisal by Bamford Rose, which then meant that he could accurately put a bid on that without the risk of unforeseen stuff popping up later on down the line. Because I think Bamford Rose, they were willing to replace almost everything that had, even minor damage on it. So he had this umbrella that was like, well, this is how much it's going to cost for Bamford Rose to fix it. If I do it myself and get the parts used, and he probably worked out how much that would cost him, which gave him a number that he could put on the car. That was a big risk that I took when I was purchasing my car, is that, it was sight unseen. I basically looked at the pictures, did my research online, and I could have got it and it could have been fully twisted, and, it was a big risk for me to take. But this individual, Bamford Rose, already evaluated the vehicle for them. And like I said, Bamford Rose is an expert in the field. So he was lucky enough to get that. But the issue arose when this new owner took delivery of the vehicle. And he took delivery of the vehicle from a Copart delivery driver. And when the car got dropped off to him, the car was totally different to the one that Bamford Rose had inspected, in terms of there were parts missing from the vehicle. Now, on initial inspection, the vehicle didn't even have a gearbox, which I'm sure came as a massive shock to the new prospective owner, because, he saw the video and he saw that it had a gearbox. There were a few components that were missing. The under trays were missing, the drop links were missing, the rear anti-roll bar was missing, the gearbox was missing on the face of things, but that was found in the boot of the car. The ECU was placed in the footwell of the car. The radiator slam panel was missing, and I mean, this list is not exhaustive. There's obviously a lot more components that are missing, but these are just some of the main ones. But the plot thickens, because this thief was very stupid. Because what he's done is, rather than just steal parts, he has replaced parts into the car that don't belong to the car. So take the ECU, for example. The new owner has managed to get the ECU scanned, and he's found out that the mileage is different on the ECU to what it is actually on the car, which tells us that, that ECU didn't belong to that car. So the thief has taken the existing ECU and replaced it with a broken ECU. And the gearbox that's in the boot doesn't appear to be from the car either. Now, we're looking into finding out if there's anything like confirmatory we can do to see if the gearbox belongs to that car or not. See if there's any numbers on it that tie it to the vehicle. But on the face of things, it doesn't look like it belongs to the vehicle. There's components been removed from the gearbox that shouldn't have really been removed for the removal of the gearbox. It's missing bits. So it's not ideal for the new owner. So obviously the new owner has tried to get in touch with Copart, and every time he gets through to Copart, they put him through to the dedicated line that deal with questions and queries like this, and the line simply goes dead. So Copart aren't really helping him that much either, which is when he contacted me to see if there's anything I could advise. So this must have happened between Bamford Rose letting it leave their shop and arriving at the customer's doorstep. So there is a few things in question here: the courier drivers, the storage at the Copart lot. So the Copart lots aren't necessarily very secure. There's sometimes very, very large lots with very limited security. So things do go missing at salvage yachts. That is quite a common thing to expect. But the question of things being stolen is not the issue of this story, it's the deceit. So somewhere along this chain of events, someone has replaced these other components into the car, which, you know, someone's just hiding something. Someone's just not a normal thief, they're hiding something. Some of the other stuff that has gone missing is the 200 cell cats. So the previous owner posted a comment on Bamford Rose's video saying, yeah, I got this vehicle recently, I had some modifications done by Bamford Rose, I had a 200 cell cat, I had the AMR twin plate clutch put in there, and they are all missing as well. So someone's taken the 200 cell cats off the vehicle and replaced them with standard cats, but not only that, they've taken the internals or the valuable bit out of the standard cats. So yeah, there's a bit of deceit going on here. The owner also tried to contact Bamford Rose just to see if there's anything, you know, left at their workshop or if they're aware of where the parts went, but the owner couldn't get through to Bamford Rose. He tried calling them, emailing them, and he even sent a carrier pigeon and still got nothing back from Bamford Rose. But I was fortunate to get in touch with Mark at Bamford Rose and we had a good conversation about this vehicle. Some of these parts are potentially still at his workshop. He's unsure. He's going to ask some of the members of staff at his place just to see what happened, but he says often is the case that they will strip down vehicles for an insurance appraisal, and by the time they've got it to the point where it's an uneconomical repair, no one's going to pay them to put it back together at that point. So they leave parts in and around the car, and in this instance, not all the parts could fit into the car, so they left them around the car, and the courier driver that came to collect the vehicle said he wouldn't take them because they're not in the car. Mark has very kindly agreed to give the new owner some of those parts. But that doesn't get around the fact that some of the parts have gone missing, potentially at a later date, and been replaced with broken parts. So whoever did this probably didn't realise the car was going to get bought and rebuilt, and certainly didn't realise it's featured on Bamford Rose, because if they did, you know, it's perfectly clear that the car is not missing those bits, otherwise it would have been on Mike's appraisal. So if the gearbox was damaged, I'm sure Mike would have put that on his quotation. And for sure, the 200 cell cats that are missing, it looks like someone's just replaced them for their own, but the original ones are worth more than the 200 cell ones, so they were smart enough to remove the valuable material out of them before putting them back on. So the new owner can't really call the police. No one's really interested in anything like this. The insurers don't really care because now the car's been bought and sold off. They're not really interested in this sort of stuff. Like I say, Copart won't answer, and I've been in touch with Bamford Rose. The courier drivers we're not that familiar with, so we can't contact them either. What we are going to do though is we're going to interrogate this ECU and find out exactly what car it's come from, and I hope that if I contact Aston Martin at a later date and explain that there's a potential stolen ECU in the vehicle, that they can interrogate it, tell us what vehicle it came from, and maybe even get us in contact with the owner that has had his ECU stolen. Because if we've got a stolen ECU in this car, then it would be nice to get it back to the original owner. But for me, this video is not me pointing fingers or making an opinion, but I think there's 4 trains of thought that could have possibly gone on here. The original owner has taken the parts off, traded them with his friends, sold them, got replacement parts and put it back in before it's been sent off to the insurance. That is a potential. Bamford Rose could have taken the parts and, you know, put other parts back on them and kept the parts that they needed. Maybe they were short stocking on shelves. That is a potential. However, I have spoke to Mike and they have not done that. The courier driver could have taken these parts en route. You know, it is likely that the courier driver had an Aston Martin Vantage himself, saw these tasty parts, made a stop up at his house on the way, changed the parts over, dropped it off at Copart. There is a chance that that could have happened. Or these parts have gone missing at a Copart lot. I find that latter quite unlikely, simply because some of the components have been replaced. And if I were a thief going into a Copart salvaged lot to steal something, I certainly wouldn't be walking in with a gearbox under my left arm, a pair of cats under my right arm and an ECU in my back pocket. I'd just be taking them. So the fact that those parts have been replaced tells me that it probably didn't go on at the salvage yard. Now this is quite interesting, this video, because this does tell us the dangers of buying from Copart. And if you followed my videos, you might have got a bit of a rose-tinted idea of what Copart is really like. But trust me, more people have issues than have success. I was just very lucky, quite naive, because I didn't realise the amount of issues that people have from this sort of thing, but I did get very lucky and I've landed myself with a nice car. But there are issues that can arise, and missing parts are quite a common thing, unfortunately. But that being said, if you do have anything that you could maybe advise, maybe you're an Aston Martin specialist yourself and you might be able to identify where some of these parts have come from using product codes, maybe there's something on the gearbox where we can identify what car it's come from. Or maybe you have Aston Martin diagnostic systems, which means you can interrogate the ECU even further so that we can track it down to where it's actually come from. But I know this is not my normal type of video and it's a bit of talking head, but I am in the Aston Martin, so it is Aston Martin related, and I'm talking about an Aston Martin. So for the Aston Martin followers up there, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, then please do buy a t-shirt. I'll put a link just up the top. That is how you support the channel and help me fix my car. So please do get a t-shirt, and don't forget to tag me in those t-shirts on Instagram. Drop your thoughts on the video down below, and I look forward to hearing from you. I'll catch you guys in the next video.